Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. It's me, Spencer, here with something a little bit different. I made these two white and blue Force Awakens X-Wings just a little while ago because LEGO only made the black and orange Poe Damerons one, so I decided to make my own from scratch, and I'm basically just going to be showing you how I did that today. From finding all the parts that I had, finding the ones that I needed, and then ordering the ones that I needed on Bricklink in the most efficient manner. So yeah, let's get into this video. Before you start ordering pieces, there's probably a couple things you should think about. I'm just gonna kind of list off a couple things. It's not a cheap way to get sets. It's not this scam to get like $20 X-Wings. That's not what it is. It costs money, it takes time, and depending on your collection, it could be much more expensive than what I had to pay because of like what kind of collection I have and how well mine's sorted, and then it could be super time consuming depending on how yours is sorted. Look out for a video regarding that kind of subject and a whole bunch more about collections and sorting coming soon. But other things that you should probably consider also is the benefits of this and why I'm doing this. It's probably the best way, depending on your collection of course, it's probably the best way to get sets that LEGO either doesn't make anymore or they didn't make at all. In this case, they didn't make these white and blue Force Awakens X-Wings, and the Force Awakens is coming out soon, so I wanted to make two of these. Or if they don't make the UCS Millennium Falcon anymore, so I've seen people bricklink them because it's cheaper to do that, and then it's just kind of maybe like a fun thing to do. It's a fun activity or process, I guess, to some people. And then if you're doing things like me, I'm going to get a little bit more into this later, but you might be changing the color of pieces or changing pieces altogether. There are a couple pieces in that X-Wing that I didn't get, and I just kind of substituted them with other things, or I changed the color of them because they were brand new in that set and they're really expensive, or I just have them in a color that works, or I just didn't need them at all. And yeah, those are just things to consider. I would recommend going through the instruction manual and seeing, do I need that piece? No, I wouldn't recommend spending money on it if you can substitute with something else. Okay, so now that you have made the very brave decision to bricklink a couple of a set, or just a set with some different colors, or just a set in general, now we can go on Bricklink and go look up the catalog entry of this set, which will show us all the parts that we are going to go look for and possibly have to order. So to do that, I would recommend, memorizing this or doing this. There's a whole bunch of ways to get to this, but this is just how I'm doing it. So you want to go to buy sets and then go find your set under whatever category it's in. Right here is our Poe's X-Wing Starfighter and catalog entry, which is right there. And then you can see item consists of 702 parts. And then here we get a big list of all the parts that are in the set, like you would see at the end of the instruction manual, except it's got numbers and more specific names and other information like whether it's new. And then if we click this number, we can see all the other colors it comes in. And then if we care to purchase this product, we can get all the stores that it comes in pretty easily. So yeah, that's how you're going to get to that. And now we can start doing some other more interesting stuff with this. Okay, so before we get into the, I don't know if I'd call it very fun part of going through all these parts and seeing if you have each individual one and then adding them to a wanted list as we don't have some of these, I would recommend going and finding the instructions for your set. If you already own the set, you can go look at the instructions physically, or if you don't have it, it's pretty easy to find them online. Like, I just searched Poe's X-Wing Fighter instructions, and it came up with a couple PDFs of it, and they're super awesome. Just all the pages you need from the set, and you can just make all the things. And what you're going to need this for is you're going to go through this, and I would recommend just looking at all the parts and seeing, like, oh, hey, I might not want to change that one to white. I might want to leave it gray because I've got a whole bunch of them in gray, and it might look better in gray, and it doesn't really matter. It's not even seen that much. Or like these blue pieces right here, you don't really need those to be in blue. It looks like they could just be regular plates, or they don't even need to be in blue. They're going to be covered up anyway. Just things like that I would recommend going through and checking to see which ones you might want to change the color of depending on how expensive they are. And if you know you're changing all the colors of the set like I am to white and blue, you can see like, oh, I don't actually want to change that one to white. So yeah, I would just recommend checking it out. It's kind of specific to your set and how specific you want to be and what pieces you do have. And it's like, like I think that piece right there, I made it light gray because I had it in light gray. Might as well, whatever, you don't even see it. And it actually turned out looking a lot better, I think, in light gray than white, just because it added a little bit more color variation to the set. Along with the hinges. The hinges were like the best thing I ever did because they're super expensive in white, and I think they look better in gray. So yeah, then you're going to do the very long, probably the hardest part of all of this. I know it's the hardest part actually, which is going through all the parts individually and seeing which ones you don't have. So you're basically just going to look at this and be like, okay, do I have that? Go through your parts, see if you have all 4 of them, or if you're like me and you did 2 X-Wings, you would see if you have 8, and when you do or when you don't, you're going to be like, oh man, I only have 3. So then we're going to have to add that to a wanted list. So then later, when we have to order a bunch of parts to finish this off, you can make the most efficient order as you can. So you're only making like, I think I only made 5 orders to get all the parts I needed. And it was really easy because it found the best stores for me to do that. And then you can go through the stores and find the best prices and stuff for which stores have the best stuff for you to get. So we're going to do that by making a wanted list, which I think I just mentioned, which is really awesome. I've used it a couple of times to make certain things before in certain mocks, and then including this, which I already finished, of course. So we're going to go to wanted, which is right there, parts, submit, and then you're going to want to put in the part number. Should be this right here. And if it has a letter at the end, like see how this one has 2714B, that B is important. You do want to keep the B. So either just copy and paste it in there, or say it, or type it in, whatever you need. So put in your part. You want to pick the color. So you're going to put black just because it comes in. That's what it is right there. And then you're going to want to add it to a new wanted list because this is the first part that is on the set that we do not have. So we're going to make a new one. We'll call it video list, because this is a video and this is the list from our video. And now we can put in the quantity, which I think I said we had 3, so we're only going to put in 1. You could put in however many you need. If you need like all 4, you need 7, I don't know. Put it in. You can specify if you want it new or used, and a couple other things. Just, I don't really worry about it too much. And add item. And now it's in that wanted list. So now you're going down the list, you're like, got those ones don't matter, the color, I got them, got those, change the color of those, oops, I don't have 8 of these, I only have 2. So we're going to take this number, and this is really easy. I like having 2 tabs open for this, so then you just put it in right there, because it keeps the page open, really easy, so you can do a whole bunch of them pretty easily. So put that number in, change the color, I'm going to change the color to white, because I did a white and blue X-Wing, might as well. And then you're going to want to add to a wanted list, which is right here, so video list, wanted list, and then the quantity, what did I say, we only had 2, so we'd put in 6, and add item, and now that one's in your wanted list, and you're basically just going to go through all of this. As you find the parts, you just put them in a bin, and you're going to get all your parts together that you already have. And then once you've gone through all, what is this, like 800 parts that are in this set? I don't know, something like that. And you want to go to My Wanted List. Select your wanted list. Video list, here we go. Show all. Of course we only put 2 in here, but you would have a whole bunch. And then you're going to be able to see all of the parts that you don't have in the quantities and the colors. And then you can go to By Shop. And you want to select your wanted list again. And I like doing unique lots, just for whatever. And then it'll find the best store for you to order from to get all the parts that are in your list. Obviously this is a pretty easy one because there's only 2 parts. But then you would just click this store, who has 11,111 feedback. That's cool. And my wanted list, and it tells you it pulls up a list, and it would just have all the parts that are in your wanted list that are in this store. So you go 1, and it tells you the quantity that you put into, and 6. And sometimes there'll be duplicates of the parts, just don't worry about that, only put it in for 1. Add select items to cart, and then, yeah, of course this store doesn't have it probably doesn't have the best prices. I'm not going to go compare, but I'm just assuming, because, you know, not every store has the best prices. I think I said prices. And, yeah, then there's a little trick that I like to do at the end of your order. Once you've gone, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to make an actual order, but you go to checkout, and then after you've gone to checkout, there's a little thing at the bottom of the page that says something along the lines of you can move it to a different wanted list, and it'll bring you back to a different looking wanted list. It'll be the same, and it'll have just the parts that you just ordered. I select move at the bottom of the page. I can actually go to wanted list here. Let's do this one. Show all. So it looks something like this. It'll look just like this. And you select move at the top, and then you would. I like to make a new wanted list called already bought for that particular list, and move it to there so you can see all the parts that you wanted, and it'll take it out of your wanted list, so then you can keep it up to date and then you don't end up getting duplicates and stuff like that. I think it's a pretty cool trick that I would recommend doing. And then once you've gone through all your parts and made all your orders, then you just have to wait for your orders to come in, and then you can build your sets. That's about it. I've already done that. I've already waited, and my parts came in, and I built my sets, and I'm so happy with it. The only parts that I have not gotten are the windshields. I'm going to wait until the last minute to buy those before I start using the sets. I'm not going to be using them because I don't have any mocks that I need them for, but I'm waiting till the last minute because they're like $10 each, and there's no way I'm going to pay $10, and I think that the price will go down. I know the price will go down over time, so I'm just going to wait until the last minute before I need them. Maybe some opportunity will come up, whatever. Point is, yeah, that's the only part that I skipped out, and I changed a lot of parts. Like I said, the hinges, just a couple things here and there, so a lot of them on the inside. That's just one thing I would recommend doing. And yeah, so I hope this video was pretty helpful, and now we can get on to the conclusion. Alright, so just one more thing. I would recommend keeping in mind that this isn't just some way to get super cheap sets. It does still take a lot of time, and you're probably still going to end up spending some money. And depending on your collection, you know, the variety and quantity of pieces that you have, you may end up spending more or less, or you may, depending on how well sorted it is. I like to think that mine is pretty well sorted. You may end up spending more money, which I'll get into later in a video coming later, so subscribe for that. And then you may end up spending, or you will end up spending, an immense amount more time looking for parts if it's not sorted, or it's not sorted pretty well. So yeah, I hope that you guys think about this. I think it's a really cool thing. If you thought this video was interesting or helpful, make sure to leave a like, and if you're interested in more content, subscribe and check out my channel for more. See you guys later. Bye.